What's going on, guys? This is TM25MD, and I have another Duelyst live for you guys today. And a little update on the tier list. I think I will be pushing it back to this weekend. Gives me a little bit more time, and allows me to put more thought into it as well. So in the meantime, I'll just be playing what I think to be some of the best decks currently in the meta. And the tier list again is completely subjective. It'll just be myself, my only thoughts on it, and it will just be rated from tier 0 to tier 3. What's the most competitive to what's not. I will omit some decks from there because a lot of things are just memes. Can be considered memes, or just like a niche or too niche. So things like dance of memes will be omitted. Probably omit Swarm as well, and Mechazor, because those aren't really too common, and their power varies on depending on what's played in the meta. So it's not really fair to assess those decks, to be quite honest. So that's just a little heads up on that. So today we'll be playing a Ryvirath fault list. I always liked fault, and I think this was very well thought out, reading his blog to it. So I'll link his blog to this article, or his blog about this deck in the description. So the only thing I really changed was I cut one Kanuna Macaw for one more Science Third Wish. Or excuse me, First Wish. He had only 2 Science First Wish, but I think if you're going second and you can open up the nuts with a bunch of golems and First Wish, then I think increasing the odds of that is perfect. Especially if you're doing something like Metallurgist Dream Shaper and then you draw a First Wish. Increased chances of drawing that First Wish, I think, is of the essence. So yeah. So the deck calls for just getting Fault out as fast as you can on 6, and doing that with Ray, so you get immediately 5 2/2s on the board, and the potential to dispel as well, which is always good. I was able to beat a what's it called, a Ziran that had a backline Sunforged Lancer, and that was the only minion she played, so this Ray actually put in work with Fault. So as a result, that Ray, or that Ziran, wasn't able to get any attack buffs, which was awesome. Bloodshot Alchemist is amazing tempo, really good, because a lot of things just sneak away from you at having 1 extra health. So Bloodshot Alchemist is amazing. Azure Herald, this deck can go into the long game, late game, and need a little bit of healing. Azure Herald is a perfect card for that, and with that 1/4 stat line, it is really solid, really good body blocker. Especially when you combo that with Science First Wish, it becomes a 2/5, making it extra bulky, and very good stats. What I really liked in this deck was this deck can struggle against Strategos Bro. Especially if they drop Jax and then you can't answer it, because this deck has no answer to Jax. So they drop Jax, you have no answer to it, and the next turn they play Strategos and you lose. Pretty much, that's how that will work. So having Scorn in the deck is, I think, very creative and smart. To counter that, to keep tempo in your favor. So, and you're developing a 4/4, which is fantastic. 3 spell jammers, because we really want to look for our cards, and if we play this early, drawing all the cards gives us a higher chance of drawing and playing Fault plus Ray on 6 mana. That's pretty much what we're going for. 3 Bullet of Air, 3 Sandstorm Reader, common Vitruvian removal package. EMP is in here for just getting a massive body. Also pretty good against Ziran for moments when you need the dispel. The body is not as big, but it's still a huge threat. 7/7 is nothing to scoff at. It's still just as powerful as it once was at 9/9. Obviously a little bit less, but 7/7 is amazing. Only 2 Kunum Macabre. Given how many draw cards we have in our deck, First Wish Dream Shaper, Spelljammer. We're going to be going through our deck like it's our job, and I really don't see the need for three Cause. 3 if you really want to have it in hand, but it can just get awkward at times, so I have no doubt that we'll find it so far. I think Ryvirath has a pretty good win rate. I played a couple games myself with it, going 6-1 so far with it. It's been pretty good. The first game I lost, as you saw there, was because my opponent was playing Artifact Riva, and I didn't draw any Scorn or Bloodshot Alchemist or Azure Herald, so it felt pretty bad. Yeah, so none of those just ultimately resulted in a loss. I don't think I could have won even if I did draw. Maybe I could have won if I drew the Azure Herald, but if I drew the Bloodshot Alchemist, I don't think it would have mattered that much. Simply because there's multiple durability on the artifacts. But the healing would have helped. It would have been really nice, because the beauty about Sandstorm Reader, you can use it on your own minions. And I was able to beat Zaran on top of Ray by doing on 9 mana. My opponent decided to play the long game, play a couple faults, so in order to keep myself alive was to, on 9 mana play Azure Herald, Sand Swirl, Azure Herald, and that heals you for 6. While developing all the little dervishes, and that was pretty good. But we're playing Maeve, probably a trial. So I found the way to beating her would just be pressure her a lot, so developing a lot of golems would be ideal. EMP's not the greatest right now, and we can get rid of a First Wish. And we just get the other First Wish. Scorn is a turn 2 play. But I don't think we need Blood Tier. Aether Master. That's interesting. We get rid of Blood Tier. Hopefully we can find something else. It is a trial of Byzian, which is extra interesting. That's a Ray. I think just going through our deck is fine. I don't really see myself playing multiple, and plus this survives, right? Again, I don't think EMP will be too impactful this match, so I like to keep the Ray in the hopes that we will find Fault by 6. But really, we're just looking to overwhelm him. Mind Lathe. Okay. That's interesting. That's very interesting. But we can get rid of it. It's fine, I guess. Let's get rid of this EMP. I don't think we need it. 2 Rays. 2 Rays is very interesting, actually. I don't see that. I think we'll just remove that artifact and deny that mana. Call it a turn. Spelljammer. Probably get rid of one of the Rays. Though there is merit to playing Ray just to accelerate, right? But we don't have any 5-drops of which we can do that play. Ray plus a 4-drop. Turn 1 going second, so that's pretty decent, right? The worst thing that can happen here, I think, would be like Azure Her Enchantment. That'd be pretty bad, because Blood of Air doesn't really solve anything. Like, getting rid of a 4/8 Husk is nice, but we're not really developing anything ourselves. So that's a gore. I like seeing him use Malice. Simply because it just means he's dealing damage to himself, but that can mean that's not the greatest, again because he has a gore. He can just use things like Aphotic Drain, pretty much heal up, right? It's a possibility. Darkfire Sacrifice, if that's a Night Shadow Dancer, excuse me, can gotta use a Blood of Air. That's a... Cataclysmic Fault plus that. The question is, do I take the slow turn? Because this thing is anything that he's cast this game, right? The end of the turn, you cast a spell, put a copy of the most recently cast spell into your action bar. So if that becomes a Photic Drain, I'm not a big fan of him healing up a whole lot, so I think this is the play, unfortunately. It's very slow. I mean, I guess we put him to 8, but because I could care less about this right now. He's already drawn what he's needed to by now, so I mean, we can put him to 8, which is nice, but we'll need to start putting on some more pressure with Fault. But we'll see what he has. I mean, we have a pretty good turn with Fault plus Ray, and then we could follow it up with Sandswell Reader and Celebrant, and Bloodbound Spell, and a couple turns, right? It's just, it's not like we're getting that much face damage in. He can heal during that time. So yeah, it's a little bit tricky this point going forward, right? Especially with this Gore on the field. It means he can just do things like a Photic Drain. Kalino. Okay, interesting. See if he trades. Okay, he does trade. Alright. I think this is definitely a Fault's turn. Scare of the Spelljammer, actually. Don't want this thing to stick around. It just asks him to do. I am going to hit here. I mean, I'm only doing 1 damage, but keeping him at this low health is, I think, fine. Because what's his trial count? It's only 2. This thing dies, which is nice to see. I like to see that. And I'd be willing to bet he doesn't he doesn't bring his Kalino in close to the Fault. It just doesn't make sense. Desolator is good for him. Heals him for 3. But we'll see. Azure Horn Shaman. Okay. Yeah, you got to play it up there because or at least move. Yep. Cryptographer. Wait, didn't he already have that available? Could have sworn he had that available already. Maybe he just wants the body, which is fine. Okay. It's taking damage, which is interesting. I don't need the Golem Metallurgist. Celebrant's better. Okay. Play is definitely Celebrant, Sandswell Reader. Or excuse me, Sandswell Reader, Celebrant, move on to a tile, play Bloodbound Spell. That's definitely the play. Question is, how do I want to position the rest of it? Or do I just send back the I think I just send this guy back. Call that a turn. Not gonna, no point in trading in now. Call that a turn. So now he can't play Chakram and Kalino and just heal a ton. I didn't. It was pretty much do I Sand Swirl this, but I think Sand Swirling the Kalino was correct in this point. Blood Tear's nice. What could be bad here? I would imagine he plays the healing. Yeah, that's the Kalino. An Azure Horn Shaman. What's that? And a Darkfire Sacrifice. That's interesting. Alright. So we can clear the Kalino, thankfully. He's really looking to to stay alive, which is understandable. Obviously get rid of that. Can we kill him? That's the question. I don't think so. If we get rid of the Kalino, this is 5-6 damage. I don't think we can kill him. Yeah, I don't think we can kill him, so the best thing is to just get rid of that. Move 2 forward with this guy. We gotta clear this, without a doubt. This on his face. Pretty sure I moved everything. Call that a turn. I'm not gonna hit with my general. Maybe I should have put him down to 6, but I think this is fine because with this positioning, he either just has to stay in this spot or move forward, which is not obviously the best play. Simply because there's a ton of poop here. Kalino's interesting. Fine. I don't think he has the trial available. At least I don't think he does. Yeah, he's a couple off. Second Kalino, why didn't you play that before to get extra healing is the question. And Malice. I don't think I agree with that at all. Yeah, that wasn't a good play. I don't think we could have killed him because of the 2 Kalinos, but because he would have healed effectively for I think 3, putting him back up to, was it 9? I didn't think we have enough to kill him from there. But he pretty much just put himself in that position, but oh well. Yeah, that's the kind of deck what I was saying, and oh my gosh, another Mave. That's what I was saying the other day in the last episode. Rushing out the trial for Mave is not always the best game plan, especially what I was talking about. You didn't really develop any good minions. You just developed like Kalino and tried to keep yourself alive. But as I said earlier, it's not exactly the greatest. And if you notice from the replays, I played Nick Lara twice, so it's pretty interesting. Alright, so let's get rid of Ka. I like the Ray for Gore, so you can't just do all those shenanigans with Darkfire Sack. So maybe it's Blood Tier. I see Ray being more valuable, but we have Faults and Ray, which is interesting, actually. So let's get rid of one of the Faults. Santo Reader's decent, and we can just open up with Gold Metallurgist. Cool. I know he's playing Trial. A very similar deck to what we just played against, so... Lurking Fear. Interesting. Okay. Unfortunately... and Carrion Collector, okay. Unfortunately, my play could just very well be... Azure Herald. To block off the Manita. Yeah, I think it just probably is that. It looks that way. Yeah, it really looks that way. 2 Sandsoil Readers? I don't think so, because our next turn is probably Ray Fault, or Fault and Ray. I don't see him taking an orb unless he has 2 things to play. I know exactly what deck he's playing. I played him twice already. It's the same exact list that we just played against. Maybe no, I don't think he has Kalino, but I know he has Shadow Dancers. But as I said earlier, is Nasher. Okay, so he's able to stop it. Alright. Okay. And Necromata, sure. Aphotic Drain. On the... okay. Sure, I guess. He's also out of cards. So the play here... I could just throw this back into his hand. Call it a turn. I don't see myself playing that. So he stopped us from playing Fault, which was good. Good play on his part. Okay, how do I want to do this? I like to keep my general relevant. So just throw that back. And I think I'll just move. He can put something on the tiles. Maybe I'll just stay here. It's not really worth playing Ray to get a Dervish. And it kind of sucks that it's right here, because if we play Fault, means it's one less, tile, but I think that's fine to keep tempo. So we just got to pressure him, really. So I don't know how many, just one so far. We know one of those cards in his hand is Necromata. It could just be a Necromata Malice kind of turn, which is not bad. It's slow, but it's not bad for him. Especially if the other cards in his hand are just cards to accelerate his trial, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's probably a seeing him play Necromata means the rest of the cards in his hand aren't probably Dying Wish. They're probably things that accelerate the what's it called? The trial. So, all right. Another Carrion Collector. Cool, I guess. What's my turn? Is it First Wish? I know I'm First Wishing this guy. I don't think I need Blood Tier. Because I'd like this to have 4 attack to at least trade with the with the Husk. Another First Wish. As tempting as that is, probably replace it because I probably want to play Spelljammer this turn. I think I want to play Spelljammer this turn. Yeah, I don't think I'd play Ray because we could do that next turn. So let's hit him. Keep his health pooled low. Caw and Fault is nice. We'll see how that goes. See, he could do, you know, like Gore and play all the spells. That's what I see happening. But this represents another 4 damage, 7 damage. And if these things stay alive, then Ka is effectively fantastic this upcoming turn, or the following turn after Fault. Because most assuredly my turn this turn will be, or my play this turn will be Fault plus Ray. So, we'll see. Not a very diverse live today, playing pretty much exactly the same list. We got to be wary of Shadow Dancer. It's a Nasher. It's interesting. Probably another Aphotic Drain if I saw one. Ritual Banishing, I actually like that better than Aphotic Drain, meaning it doesn't heal him. So, full Bold Clear, which is nice on his part. And he ends up just passing, which is interesting. Alright, so let's get rid of one of these guys. Yeah, our turn is it Fault? Or is it Kanuma Ka plus Dervish? Because if we play Fault Ray right now, the most we can get is 3. Which I think is fine, actually. Because next turn we could follow it up with Sandswell Reader, Celebrant, Bloodbound spell. Just like last game. So I think this is the play. So just looking at a little head here. I mean, we only get 3 guys, but I think that's suffice. We also have to keep track of his trial count. It's only 3 right now. He doesn't have really any minions to go with it. He cannot use Night Watcher, Gore, and Bloodbound spell. Not that that's a fantastic play, but it's Shadow Dancer. Interesting. But we can kill the Shadow Dancer. I think, yeah, the Ray only dispels this Husk, which kind of sucks. So, yeah. So our play undoubtedly is Kunuma Ka. I still like the Celebrant, the Spelljammer I don't. So that's the beauty of Akuna Maka, is that it does a very good job of... actually, I'm going to keep it on this tile. And we pretty much just have to pressure him. So it's not like he can get... he could get Zor this turn. Complete his trial, right? He could play a Gore, Darkfire Sacrifice. Necromod is not the play in my opinion, unless he drew another Aphotic Drain, which he did. which kind of sucks. Puts him to 14. Draws a lot of cards too. Oh, it only draws Dying Wish minions, so Nasher, don't be another Aphotic Drain, that'll kind of suck. Desolator. Okay. Sarlacc, okay. Alright, so, do we have any golems on board? No. Can we kill him? Maybe. It's possible. Let's move this guy. I think we can... I don't think we can kill him. I really don't want to send the Nasher back to his hand. But I don't think we can kill him this turn. Right, this is... how much damage is this? This is, 5, 7, 9, 10. So if he didn't heal, we would have killed him. 2 cards in hand with Desolator. I don't think we can kill him. So I think the best play here would just to be just pretty much clear up his entire board. Feels awkward sending the Sarlacc to his hand, but I don't want anything that can just give him value. I roped. That sucks. I don't know if he can kill us, but that kind of sucks. We could have just we could have done more damage to him and cleared everything, which kind of sucks. It's too bad. I think I spent too much time talking. I don't think this can do the trial. Alright, I don't think he can play the trial this turn. Sarlacc, sure. Desolator. That's a pretty good play because next turn we're dead. Alright, so okay. We need to look for Azure Herald, Blood of Air. It's pretty good actually. Take a little bit of a risk here. That kind of sucks. Pretty much just hit him. It died to obviously another Desolator, but I don't know what else we can do. I think the term that I roped before actually kind of sucks the most. We also died to a second Shadow Dancer, so at least I think I do, because Shadow Dancer, this goes in, it's 2 damage, 3 damage, and this dies. Yeah, we died to a second Shadow Dancer. It's unfortunate, but doesn't look like he has either of them, which is fortunate. I hope. Maybe he doesn't see it. I don't know. How else would he survive? He's played 2 Aphotic Drains. So a third, maybe he could survive with a third. Not quite sure. I am not quite sure. Are we dead? Ah, okay. So in my experience with this deck, we played 4 Maves and we beat all 4. Granted, 3 of them were against Nick Lauren, but what can you do? I think this deck applies a lot of pressure to those full-on trial Maves. As for the Lurking Fear with the Chakram decks, like the ones that I played a couple days ago, I don't know about that matchup. I think that matchup would be a little bit more difficult because that list, as I said, just gets out bodies. It doesn't focus on getting the trial, but it gets out bodies, making it very difficult to deal with as Vitruvian, since you only have 3 Blood of Airs. So it makes the matchup harder there. But it keeps us... this one, it just looks to play all the spells, and if you are able to stop... If you have Dispel, so if you have cards like Lightbender and Ephemeral Shroud, or even Ray, right? How did we use Ray to beat these two Maves? We did it by... I really hate this matchup. But we did it by using Ray, not necessarily... We did use it with Faults, but we also used it to stop Gore from getting a lot of value. It just trades with the Gore, it dispels it, and there's no minion there. So this could either be Mantra or Arcanist should die. I hope it's Mantra, because at least we have a better shot of winning that one than Arcanist. Arcanist is just so annoying. Let's get rid of the Sanswell Reader. Spelljammer's good. We have Ray and Fault in hand with Celebrant, so this is a pretty decent hand. I'm just keeping this just in case it's Arcanist, because if it is, then... oh boy. I mean, we have a lot of answers for Arcanist. We have Chakra. We have... There's a little bit of a temptation to play Ray and Spelljammer turn 1 over Celebrant, because it puts on pressure against the Chakri. Pretty much every single minion Songhai has an effect, so dispelling that is okay. So let's get rid of that. Blood Tier. If we got another Blood Tier, that would have been cool. So we'll just play Ray and Spelljammer in the center here. If something happens, we Blood of Air it next turn if we can ramp. Yay! There's 2 2 Blood Tiers. Fortunately, it was not in our hand at the time, but I think this play was better than just setting up a Celebrant. Celebrant just asks him to miss Dragon Seal and take my mana tile and go from there, which could be potentially bad, especially with Owl Beast Stage. So that looks like an owl if I ever saw one. Illusionist. Okay, that's better to see. Mirror Meld. That's spicy. Okay, so one thing's getting dispelled. Oh no, is it really? That sucks that it's this one. I mean, I guess it was a 50-50 on where it's spawned here, because I guess these 3 spawns were the worst ones. I'm not sure. Does he have Meditate? He didn't play a spell, so he can't really play. I mean, you could play Meditate. No, you can play Meditate to get another second cell. What am I saying? Probably replace Dream Shaper. We have a Spelljammer on board. What is that? Juxtaposition? Yeah, that's interesting. Alright, so Dispels an Illusionist, which doesn't do anything for us. Kind of sucks. Good play for him, I guess. Okay. Alright, so let's get rid of this guy. First switch. That's good. Let's see what that does. Fault. Feels bad, man. Alright, so let's just do this. Clear as much as that as we can, and I would imagine this would be an owl turn. So we have Blood of Air ready. I really hate Arcanist Shaddai. It's so annoying to play against. It's just like, where's all my Dispel? Where's my Blood of Airs? Or if you're not playing this deck, it's just like, how do I win? If you're not running Dispel or Transformation, is like pretty bad. Like playing this against Arcanist Shaddai as Songhai, like if you're just playing an artifact list, it's pretty tough. It's just a really annoying archetype to play against. I never was appealed. I never liked playing it myself, but I see why some people like it. Like, oh, I have the biggest board and whatnot. So yeah, so he can kill my Spelljammer, which kind of sucks, but it means he can't play. It means he cannot play Tanahashi. That feels bad. 1 and 4. I guess it's better than the draw card. Not quite sure. Mirror Melds. Second Mirror Meld, really? That kind of sucks. Also means Blood of Air doesn't do squat against this, so that feels extra bad. Okay. Unfortunately, this is a Blood of Air turn. Maybe I should just move one back rather than the corner. Hopefully Kanun Macaw can clean everything up after this Fault Ray turn. But we'll see, I guess. I guess we'll see. We'll see if he actually stands on the center column. Trinity Wing. Oh boy. Well, we can get rid of it with another Blood of Air. He mills a card, unless he has a Juxt. He mills it. Actually, I think this is better to do right now. I don't want to get backstabbed. If he, pulls a, I forget what it's called. I think this is fine right here. I just don't want to, if he gets the backstab sword, I forget what it's called. I just don't want to take that extra 2 points of damage. And if there was a turn to play Fault, it would be now, because it sets up Kanun Macaw, allows us to play EMP, all that fun stuff this coming turn. And if he decides to deal with all these poop dervishes, that means we're doing okay. We'll see if this is Owl Beast. If it's Owl, we probably just... Ooh, you can still do Owl. And play only one spell plus Jux. There's Owl. This could just very well be a Kuna Macaw turn. If it isn't, it's definitely an EMP turn. But I would like to play actually Kuna Macaw. Less than a power. Interesting. I think he's preparing for the Kuna Macaw, so the Ray dispels a Mana Forger, fortunately. Oh, it's interesting. looks like he's just trying to cash in on damage, which is fair. Juxt can be bad because that's okay. No Juxt. Let's get rid of the Golem Metallurgist. See what that does. What does Kuin Maka do? It pretty much clears his whole board, which I like. So, and I don't have to do. Well, at least let me do the math, right? How much health is this? This one is 4 health. That takes 2 Kuin Makas here, 2 here, 2 here. Oh, okay, we definitely have enough, especially with Bloodbound spell. So do this one. And we can even play a golem as well. So just do that. I probably should have moved first, but oh well. Pretty much just playing all the dervishes because we can. So full board clear without having to use EMP is nice. Just gotta speed it up a little bit. I'll do this last. And we'll just play our Bloodbound spell, call that a turn. I think we're okay. We're forcing him to stay over here. Pretty good turn. Yeah. Another Owl Beast we have answers for. We have Blood of Air. We also have Azure Herald, so we can get all of our poops. I don't see him dealing with a Kuin Maka this turn. I really don't. Yeah, I think he's been seeded, but we'll see. Not quite sure. Because if you're able to deal with Arcanist's board, Sparrowhawk, that's interesting. Then you're very good to go. So Kuin Maka deals with this board very well. I still like to hold on to the Blood of Air and everything else. Let's try and get a full surround on him. I don't think we can, but it's worth a shot. This plays around Gotatsu and him running away with this spell. And I can afford just to punch as I please here. So if he wants to run away, the movement spell for the general does not apply. So playing the Azure Herald here stops him from doing that play with Gotatsu. Oh, okay, so he's just pretty much given up. Cool. Well played. So as I said, this is probably one of the best decks in the game. I'm not saying it's the best deck, but it's one of the best ones. Up there, I would also put Aggro Riva on the same caliber as this. Aggro Riva and Aggro/Burn Starhorn. Off the top of my head, I think Winter's Wake would be up there, but if Magmar becomes very prevalent, both Starhorn and Ragnara and Vaught, pretty much any Magmar that runs Rebuke does pretty well against that archetype. So depending on how much Magmar there is, if there's very little, then I would say Winter's Wake, Wall, Vanar is up there as well. I don't know if I would put it on the same caliber as the 3 decks I mentioned, but it's definitely very strong. So 9-1 with this list, so pretty good. As I said, I think it's one of the strongest decks in the game. Does well against Wanderer because once you get faults with Ray and Kuin Maka, then you can clear pretty much everything that Wanderer has to throw at you. So, yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. Tier list coming this weekend. It gives me more time to prepare and give you a better a presentation of what's on top and what's on the bottom and what's just in the middle, right? So, once again, guys, have a good hump day. Catch you guys later. Bye.